In the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, Spain, history was made by an Olympian named Derek Redmond. But guess what? He made history for a race he didn't even win. You see, there was one thing Derek did in that race that caught the attention of every athlete in that arena. Over 65,000 people in the stands and people all over the world. And today I want to share that with you, especially if this has been a rough and challenging year for you. If this year has been filled with setbacks and disappointments, then I strongly implore you to stay to the end of this timeout, as I strongly believe you'll be encouraged. Hey everybody, my name is JSFequiere. I am the co-founder of JSFequiere and the creator of Timeout. The purpose for Timeout is to provide content that's going to push you as you're going after that next level in life. So, Derek Redmond, who was he? Derek Redmond was a world and European relay champion. In fact, he broke Britain's 400-meter record on 2 different occasions. He was actually one of the greatest athletes of Britain in the 80s and in the 90s. And after proving himself as a relay athlete, Derek decided it was time that he came out and made a name for himself as an individual athlete. So Derek trained himself in the 400, and guess what? He made it to the 1988 Olympics in South Korea. But something happened in that race, in that opportunity. Derek actually had to withdraw before his first race. Within minutes of that first race, because of a nagging injury that he couldn't get over. And so Derek went back to train again for the next 4 years. Remember, Olympics is every 4 years. So he trained 4 years for the next Olympics. And guess what? He qualified again to run in a 400. And so now this is 1992 and the Olympics in Barcelona, and this is where he made history. Now remember, I said he made history for a race he didn't even win. Now some of you are wondering, so what happened? So Derek came out, he ran in the preliminary race for the 400 meters, and he ran his best time that he has run in 4 years of training. He said in an interview, I felt good. This was the best I felt. I'm finally over this injury that was trying to keep me down. So now Derek is in the semifinals, and he's actually was named as one of the favorites to walk home or go home that year with a medal. And in the semifinals, they're ready. The race, boom, here's the gun. Derek comes out of the blocks moving fast. He's looking good. His form is good, but something happens halfway down the race on the backstretch. Derek pulls up and he falls to the ground. And he's holding the back of his leg. It's obvious he has a hamstring injury. So he's sitting there on the ground face first, and you can see that he's in agonizing pain. The runners come around, they finish the race, and Derek is still on the ground. Turns out he tore his hamstring muscle. And so finally, after moments of being there, he has everybody's attention. Derek does something that catches people's attention. He stands up and he starts hobbling. He's hobbling like he's going to continue this race. When some people go down in the Olympics, they either get carted off or maybe they find their way to make it to the inside so that they can get medical treatment. But Derek decides that he is going to finish his race. And so he's hobbling. But if you look at his face tells the whole story. He is in pain. It's so much pain that you can see him grimacing, and then his grimace turns into tears. He starts crying. But he's making his way around the curve. He's coming down the final stretch. You see in the corner of the screen that some man, he broke through security and he's sprinting towards Derek. Turns out this is somebody that's really close to him, because you can see Derek immediately receives him. Later on, we find out that it was his father. And now his father, it's like his father immediately knows what's going on. My son is in pain, but he has a goal. He's going to finish what he started. So his father immediately puts Derek's arm around him, and they're making their way to the finish line. People are coming up to try to escort them off the track. You can look at his father. He's not having that. I don't know what he's saying, but whatever he's saying it with his mouth and with his hands. And they're on their way. And if you watch the video with sound, they said it was one of the most emotional moments and memorable moments in the Olympic history. Derek is going down the final stretch towards the finish line, and he has all the fans cheering for him, whether they were from his country or not. When he crosses that finish line, you can see he does it with so much emotion. He's in pain, not just physically, but emotionally. He's trained to get to this point, and twice it's been hindered by injury. But Derek finished the race. That's the thing that Derek did. He finished what he started. 2020 has been a challenging year for a lot of us. We've dealt with setbacks on so many different levels. Mentally, it's just been mentally exhausting. Emotionally, physically, financially. There's pandemics. There's all this controversy and this chaos with the election. As a result of everything going on, even the economy took a hit, and unemployment was at an all-time high, with people on the first day filing for unemployment. It broke the website. And then now there's chaos in the streets. There's disagreements, there's tension. 2020 has been an eventful year, to say the least. And because of this, the things we set out to do at the very beginning of the year, on some of us, our list is not even halfway done. And so now you're faced with a decision where a lot of people has given up on 2020. They're already planning for 2021. But as you're watching this video, I sat down and I looked and I said, man, Thanksgiving is next week. Look how this year is practically behind us. And for some people, that's probably a sign of hope. But what I'm here to say to you is that there's still just under 45 days left in 2020. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to finish what you started? Or are you going to give up like everybody else? I know that there's certain things that you wanted to do that you couldn't do, and you're not even halfway done. But does that mean we do nothing for the rest of the year? Do we take this year sitting down? Are you going to be like Derek and say, you know what? This was not part of my plan. And I wanted to come out here and win gold. But just because I didn't win gold doesn't mean I'm not going to finish this race. I'm going to do what I came here to do, and I'm going to finish what I started. And so that was Derek's mindset, and that's what I'm urging you guys. Don't give up just yet. You still have under 45 days left in 2020 to still do something that you can look back and say, I've accomplished this in the most challenging year of my life. You see, even though you may not accomplish what you set out to do for 2020, if you decide that you're not going to quit and you're going to finish the race, that is an accomplishment in itself. I'm challenging you guys to not give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the things that you set out to do in this year. There's still something that you can sit down and say, you know what? This was the big picture. But you know what? I can still finish the year with this. I can still do this. Set a goal for the next 40 days of this year, and I want you to finish. I want you to end this year swinging. I want you to say 2020, is that all you got? Is that all you got? And I'm telling you, this is going to set the precedence for the years to come. Because when you come out of this year, everybody's going to remember this year. But if you remember this year as a year you gave up and you quit when your back was against the wall, then that's going to sit with you. And every time you face challenges, that things that were out of your control, this pandemic was out of our control. All this stuff that happened was outside of our control. But if you decide that you're not going to let it break you, and if you decide that even still, I'm going to be steadfast, I'm going to press towards, I'm going to keep going, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm telling you, this is a foundational year for many of you. So my question to you is, what does it look like? What does finishing your race look like? Maybe for some of you, it means I'm going to give my business everything I have, more than I've given it this first 11 months of the year. For some of you, finishing this race strong means I'm going to give my relationship. Our relationship, we've been stagnant. We've been at each other's throat. We've been consumed by all the stresses of this world. But now I'm going to make my spouse feel more special than he or she has felt this whole year, and give them more attention than I have given them this whole year, to show them how much this means to me and that I do want this to work. Make somebody look at you and say, what has gotten into this person? Does this person not know we are in the middle of a pandemic? Does this person not know that there's so much uncertainty? See, there is one thing that you are certain of, and that's what you are capable of doing. And so I want you to look at this year. For some of you, it's maybe you've been looking for work, but now you say, in this next 40 days, I'm going to fill out more job applications than I've done this entire year. I'm going to fill out more scholarship paperwork for those of you in school. Maybe for some of you, finishing strong is actually applying to get back in school, which is something you've been contemplating this whole year. I don't know what finishing strong means for you, but what I'm saying is make sure that you don't go down without a fight. Make sure that you can come out of 2020 and say, many people gave up on this year, but I've never given up. And since 2020 could not break me, nothing can stop me now. And so I want you to go down fighting. I want you to think about the next 40 days. You don't have to make it some sort of astronomical goal. Just say, in the next 40 days, I'm going to accomplish these 3 things. And it's going to set me up for what I'm going to do next year. Start your vision boards. Do something. I am no way discounting what you've been through. But what I'm saying is you're still here. You're watching me. That means you're still here. You're still alive. You still have breath. And that's what that means. You still have opportunities. You still have purpose. And so don't take that for granted. The fact that you've made it this far, in spite of everything that happened. You get up and you say, you know, I'm going to finish what I started. Even if I got to do it hobbling like Derek. Even if I got to do it broke. Even if I got to do it afraid, just start right now. You still got under 40 days left. You never know, you can still make this year be your best year yet. You may be able to come out with a testimony and say, for 11 months, I was trying to do this and I was caught up with everything that was going on. But in the month of December, when I had less than 40 days left, look what I was able to accomplish. And that's just because you decided to finish strong. Finish strong. You know what that means for you. That's the title of this time out. Finish strong and make these last 40 days be the best days of your 2020. This year is a foundational year. So make a decision that you're going to finish strong.